Okay, that does not mean that this is the start to some other big world.
Who are you?
Hi everyone, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Avengers Endgame post-credit scene for the Spider-Man scene from the big re-release. There was all this extra footage that they tacked on to the end of Avengers Endgame screenings all over the world to entice people to come back, calling it a re-release so that they could beat Avatar's box office. I think they're a little bit closer now, but I have not checked the box office since I posted my last video. There was a Stan Lee tribute, then there was a Hulk post-credit scene of an unfinished deleted scene. I've already done a video about that, I'll link it at the end of this. Then there was a special Spider-Man scene setting up Spider-Man Far From Home, so we'll break that down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. It's going to be crazy the next couple of weeks between Spider-Man Far From Home and Comic-Con with their big Marvel Phase 4 schedule. We're all expecting a couple really big surprises. We're doing a new IMAX ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite Spider-Man moment on the video. So during this Avengers Endgame post-credit scene, there was a dip to black after they did the big Hulk deleted scene that said, "And one more thing." Then the camera fades in on Nick Fury and Maria Hill driving past a monument on their way to Ixtenco, Mexico to investigate this reported attack. There's been a disaster, so obviously Nick Fury is coming in to check out what the hell's going on. This time it's supposed to be the Sandman one. They drive past this local monument. There's a couple reasons why they work in religious iconography into films like this. One, to foreshadow some of the themes of what's going to happen in the next scene and wink at the overall general theme of the movie. And two, because when they depict foreign cities, they usually get tax breaks for layering in a little bit of tourism highlights just to entice people to come visit that place after they see the movie. Like, we'll give you some of your money back if you make our city look awesome so more people want to come here and spend their money on us. This might be the Virgin Mary, but it's kind of hard to tell. Catholicism is the dominant religion of Mexico, so most of the famous religious monuments are Catholic. Within the Christian religion, the Virgin Mary gave birth to Jesus, who is heralded as the savior of mankind. The themes of the movie in general are all about who's going to be the next savior of the world now that Iron Man is dead. And initially, Spider-Man is thinking that this new Mysterio person who says he's from another world is going to be that savior. So they're kind of using this metaphor to make a joke about Mysterio during the movie being the quote-unquote rebirth of Iron Man. At least that's how he's presenting himself, and as you see from Peter's classmates during the other trailer, everybody on the news is completely eating it up. This guy's like Thor and Iron Man all rolled into one. You notice they're driving an Audi because Audi is sponsoring the movie. That's why you see Nick Fury driving the e-tron and some of the other trailers. And there's Audis all over the place in all the big action scenes, like on this Tower London Bridge fight. You probably noticed during the Avengers Infinity War post-credit scene, they were driving an Infinity brand car. Maybe that's just the producer's sense of humor, driving an Infinity during Avengers Infinity War. The camera pans out wide as they drive into town. It's been utterly destroyed by the supposed Sandman elemental creature. You see some of the religious monuments that have almost been torn down. They drive into the center of town. Maria Hill starts questioning why they're there investigating this. You notice the number 78 on a bucket behind them? That's an Easter egg for the 1978 amazing Spider-Man television series. One of the alternate titles for that series, too, was Spider-Man Strikes Back, because it was around 1978, everybody was trying to copy the Star Wars franchise because it was so popular, and Empire Strikes Back was about to come out. The show actually aired during the late 70s for just a couple of seasons, and it was Nicholas Hammond playing Peter Parker's Spider-Man. The whole idea of the series, though, was that because they didn't have a budget for really big action scenes like you would see in a comic book, is that it was Spider-Man being more friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, tackling real-world problems, taking a more realistic route, instead of doing really crazy big supervillains. So it was a very mundane version of Spider-Man. Maria Hill gets out of the car and says, "Nick, this was a tragedy, but it's not why we're here. What, are we fighting the weather now?" Because she thinks that it was just a rogue cyclone. Nick Fury replies, "The locals say the cyclone had a face." Maria Hill says, "People see things when they're under stress." Okay, that doesn't mean that this is the start of some other big world-ending event, referencing the events of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame with all the Infinity Gauntlet snaps.
I don't feel so good.
Which during the events of Spider-Man Far From Home, they're referring to as the blip, because people seemingly blipped out of existence when Thanos snapped everyone at the end of Avengers Infinity War, then they blipped back all of a sudden when Hulk snapped everyone back during Endgame. I think snappening probably would have been a much better term for it, but maybe because the fans came up with it, they couldn't use it in the movie because of attribution or some weird issue like that, so for whatever reason, they're just calling the snap the blip. They walk past a car here. If you look on the license plate, it reads 463, which is the date of the first appearance of Sandman in Amazing Spider-Man number 4. It was September 1963. All the elementals have Easter eggs like this. Anytime they show up, there's always a license plate or a number nearby on something showing the date of their first appearance in the comics, so keep your eyes peeled when you go to see Spider-Man Far From Home this week. Anytime there's a date in the background, like the 78 on the bucket behind them here, there's a number on a wall, on a boat, on a license plate, it's usually a reference or an Easter egg to some big Spider-Man comic book moment during Amazing Spider-Man or Amazing Fantasy, or anytime Spider-Man has popped up in a really big story. All of a sudden, Mysterio appears in a green cloud of smoke as if he seemingly teleported in. They raise their guns and he says, "Who are you?" because they haven't met each other yet. Kind of out of breath as if he's coming from another battle and this is taking a lot of effort. He wants to make it seem like he's putting a lot into this. When all of a sudden the Sandman elemental rises up behind them, roars, they spin around, turn their guns on it, then the camera pans back to Mysterio, who says, "You don't want any part of this," and just lets loose his green energy attack that you've been seeing in all the trailers. So this is supposed to be the first time that Nick Fury meets Mysterio, so he's never heard of him before this, he has no idea who he is, like who the hell is this dude that's fighting this giant elemental creature? Later, Mysterio gives him his version of an explainer speech for how the elementals work, where they come from, when he's talking about the multiverse. This is the extended clip of that they've already released online.
They were born in stable orbits within black holes, creatures formed from the primary elements: air, water, fire, earth. The science division had a technical name. We just called them elementals.
Versions of them exist across our mythologies.
Turns out the myths are real.
Like Thor. Thor was a myth, and now I study him in my physics class.
These myths are threats.
They first materialized on my Earth many years ago. I was part of the last battalion left trying to stop them. All we did was delay the inevitable.
The elementals are here now, attacking the same coordinates. Our satellites confirm it.
I mean, I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, sir.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
Spider-Man is eating that up like candy. That's the story that Mysterio is giving them, at least at the beginning of the movie. So I'll talk more about what's going on with this during the film, what concepts it sets up, the Easter eggs, the post-credit scene, and how it sets up the future of Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in general during Marvel Phase 4, because this is technically the bookend to Marvel Phase 3, and then Marvel Phase 4 will officially begin in the next film that comes, which will be Black Widow next spring. So there's a lot of really big things that they do at the end of the film. Make sure you stay through the end of the credits at Spider-Man Far From Home. Very important post-credit scenes. I'll do videos for those next week, so no worries. But they are positioning Spider-Man to be one of the most central figures in the next several years in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sort of the same way that he was the face of Marvel Comics brand for a long time, Kevin Feige has quietly been doing this ever since Spider-Man came into the MCU. In all of his early interviews before Spider-Man Homecoming was getting ready to come out, he was going on and on about how Spider-Man was the most important Marvel character ever.
Spider-Man is the biggest Marvel character. He is the jewel in the crown. Such an amazing icon. He is a very different type of hero because he is quite simply the greatest superhero of all time.
So you look at things like that and how important Spider-Man was to the brand of Marvel Comics and how important he is to Kevin Feige's plans for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's going to get really, really crazy really fast. I'm sure you all have a lot of really big questions about what's going on in the next couple of years, so leave them all in the comments and I'll try to add them to the videos that I'm making in the next week. There was a really big Avengers Endgame Comic-Con panel with Captain America, a couple of the other characters, where they talk about new deleted scenes and stuff that was cut out. It was really cool. I'll cut that way down to just the best moments and then post that tomorrow, so it should be sometime on Monday. My Spider-Man Far From Home post-credit scene video and Easter eggs will start posting on Tuesday and Wednesday, so as long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you'll see those videos when I post them. I'll name a giveaway winner when I post that next video. Click here for that Hulk Avengers Endgame post-credit scene and the special Stan Lee tribute scene, and click here for my non-spoilery Spider-Man Far From Home movie review. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.